Picture this. Ryan is just a regular guy who found himself genuinely interested in a woman named Emma. They met, started talking, and things flowed naturally. Texts were quick, fun, and consistent. There was an energy between them at least. That's how Ryan felt. But then, something shifted. Emma's replies started coming in late. The emojis faded, the enthusiasm dropped, and it felt like the warmth was slowly draining from their conversations. Ryan found himself waiting hours, sometimes days, just to get a dry lull or been busy in return. He started questioning himself. Did I say something wrong? Should I keep texting her or just stop completely? This situation isn't rare. In fact, it's one of the most common silent struggles men go through when they're interested in someone who seems to be pulling away. But here's what most don't realize. When you stop texting, something powerful happens not just to you, but to her too. You see, for many women, especially those who are attractive and used to constant male attention, being in the center of someone's world becomes normal. Your consistent texts, check-ins, and good morning messages aren't just communication. They're subtle confirmations of her desirability. Now imagine that flow of attention suddenly stops. No more texts, no notifications lighting up her phone from you. That's silence. It's not just quiet, it creates a vacuum. She might not have been fully interested, but she noticed your presence. And now, she notices the absence even more. It's like a familiar background noise suddenly disappearing. People don't miss the music until it's turned off. That's the psychological impact. She starts to wonder, why did he stop? Did something change? Is he talking to someone else now? The dynamic has shifted. Your silence now speaks louder than your words ever did. It creates a level of uncertainty she didn't expect, and that uncertainty can trigger curiosity. In some cases, even a flicker of interest, because for the first time, she's no longer in full control of the attention. You're no longer predictable. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding human psychology. When you stop giving what was once consistent, you create contrast. And in that contrast, people notice. Sometimes, pulling back is the only way to be seen clearly. And whether she reaches out or not, the silence serves a bigger purpose. It brings clarity, both for her and for you. Why should you stop texting her? It's a question that feels counterintuitive, especially when you're emotionally invested. When you like someone, your instinct tells you to try harder, to show more interest, to stay consistent so they see your value. But here's the reality. If you've already shown how you feel either through words, actions, or simply consistent communication and she's not matching your effort, then continuing to reach out only drains you. It's like trying to fill a broken cup. No matter how much you pour, it will never hold. Stopping the texts isn't about punishing her. It's about reclaiming your balance. Every time you initiate and get half-hearted replies or no response at all, it chips away at your confidence. It reinforces a dynamic where she has all the power, and you're left guessing. But the moment you pause, something changes. You shift from chasing to observing, from reacting to reflecting. Think of it like chasing a butterfly. The harder you run after it, the more it flutters away. But if you sit still, it might land on your shoulder. That's the paradox. Sometimes, it's the stillness that gets noticed. More than the pursuit, and beyond what it might do for her mindset, the pause serves you the most. It gives you a moment to ask, is she really interested? Or am I just trying to force a connection? Silence allows clarity to surface. When you're not actively pursuing, you begin to see things more clearly, how much you were overextending, how little was coming back, and how much emotional energy you were spending on someone who might not even deserve it. Pulling back isn't about manipulation. It's a necessary reset. It's how you protect your self-respect, your emotional energy, and your value. And here's the beautiful part. Even if she never texts you again, you've already won, because you stopped giving your all to someone who gave you fragments in return. Some women thrive on attention. For them, it's more than just communication, it's emotional validation. They're used to being admired, complimented, and pursued. Whether they admit it or not, attention becomes a form of currency, a subtle reminder of their desirability. And when you're consistently texting her, liking her posts, replying quickly, or checking in, you become part of that steady stream of admiration. Even if she doesn't see you romantically, your attention still feeds something inside her. Confidence, control. Now, when you suddenly stop texting her, that supply is cut off. It's like applause stopping in the middle of a performance. At first, confusion kicks in. Why isn't he texting me? Did something happen? Then comes curiosity. Is he losing interest? Is someone else in the picture? That break in attention creates a void, and that void doesn't go unnoticed, because while she may not have been fully invested in you, she had become used to your presence. And here's where things shift. If there was even a slight spark of interest in her, your silence can reignite it. Your absence becomes more intriguing than your presence ever was. She starts to view you differently, not as the guy always chasing, but as someone with boundaries, with self-control. That, in itself, can be attractive. This doesn't mean she always come running back, but psychologically, the silence you create breaks the rhythm she was comfortable in. It forces her to reflect, to wonder, to question what she may have overlooked. And often, That moment of uncertainty is more powerful than any sweet text you could have sent, because it's in that silence that she finally has to deal with the possibility that she may have misjudged your value. Not every woman craves attention. In fact, some find it uncomfortable or even annoying, especially when it's coming from someone they're not interested in. This is a reality that many men struggle to accept. Just because she's beautiful or friendly doesn't mean she wants constant communication. If she's ghosted you, friend-zoned you, or given you clear signs of disinterest, your persistent texting isn't seen as sweet, it's seen as pressure. For women who don't enjoy unwanted attention, your decision to stop texting can actually bring relief. It's like someone finally respecting the boundary. They've been trying to communicate subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, for weeks. Imagine someone trying to sell you something at your door, and you keep saying, "No, thank you," but they don't leave. It gets frustrating. But when they finally walk away, you don't feel sad, you feel peace. That's exactly how it feels for her when you stop forcing communication that she never wanted in the first place. But here's where it gets interesting. Walking away respectfully, without bitterness, drama, or guilt-tripping leaves an impression. Even if she isn't interested now, people remember those who handled rejection with grace. You're not begging. You're not lashing out. You're simply moving on. That shows maturity and self-respect. And if, down the line, something changes, in her perspective, if she grows or starts to see your value differently, your respectful exit will speak louder than any desperate attempt to get her back ever could. Sometimes, leaving with dignity is the most powerful move you can make, because it shows that while you were interested, you were never dependent on her attention for your worth. That kind of quiet confidence can echo long after the conversation ends. Letting go isn't always about the person, it's about the idea of the person. When you're emotionally invested, it's easy to get lost in the fantasy. You imagine the potential, the dates, the connection, the way things could be if only she responded differently. And in that fantasy, you build a version of her that might not even exist. You fill in the gaps with hope, ignore the red flags, and focus only on the moments that felt good. But the more you hold on to that illusion, the harder it becomes to see things clearly. The truth is, emotional attachment can blind you to reality. You begin to chase something that isn't real, a version of her built in your mind, not the woman in front of you. And this is where men often get stuck. You're not attached to her texts or her smile. You're attached to the potential you thought she represented. But potential is a dangerous thing when it's one-sided. It keeps you chasing ghosts. The way forward is to ground yourself. Look at the facts. Is she putting in effort? Is she showing genuine interest? Or are you the only one holding the thread? Once you strip away the fantasy, the truth becomes clear. You deserve someone who chooses you back, not just occasionally, but consistently. And most importantly, learn to balance your emotions with logic. Yes, it's okay to feel, but don't let those feelings blind you from what's real. When you finally see her for who she is, not who you wish she was, you'll free yourself from the emotional weight. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you care about yourself enough to stop chasing someone who won't meet you halfway. And that's where real strength begins.